glad you could find time to join me today. This is Exceptional Women Show. My guest today is not very new to the show. She was here sometimes last year. She started an organization that is dedicated in improving the relationship between their mothers and their sons. Mrs. Sophie Baby.
Thank you for having me.
Welcome again. It's a pleasure to have you.
Thank you.
You know, this is very important to me. Like I said, I'm a mother to a son.
Yes.
So anytime I can get an opportunity to help me nurture and have a healthy relationship with my son, I'm taking that.
You're welcome.
So I'm happy to have you.
Thank
so
you.
maybe for the viewer who is watching for the first time and they're tuning in for the first time and they didn't watch the other show, just quickly, who is Sophie Baby and your relations to Mothers of Sons organization?
Thank you, Miriam, once again for inviting me. So Sophie Baby is a wife to one Simon Baby, executive director for Transform Nations. And at Transform Nations, our business is about equipping the leader in the marketplace, in the family, and in the church to be able to impact their area of influence. So that is what we do. And between Simon and I, we have 3 children, 2 girls and a boy.
Okay.
Yes, and Simon and I have authored the material that we call Mothers of Sons. And it's an 8-week experience where we just take mothers who are mothering sons, just through what does it mean to mother somebody who is different from you.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
So what are the chances, the likelihood that mothers might not always get it right when it comes to raising their sons as opposed to the girls?
Well, the chances are high. I think, like we said previously, when you're raising a girl as a mom, it's familiar ground because you've been a girl once. You know what it means to be a girl. But when it comes to raising boys, I mean, no mother has ever been a little boy before. And you just need help and sort of an insider perspective of what is really going on in the little of this young boy. They're obviously very different from girls. Yeah, so we say we don't want the mothers to get it wrong. They spend a lot of time with their sons. They're great influencers, and we are really committed to ensuring that they get the most to make the best out of that experience. Yeah.
You've mentioned earlier that your husband is the founder of Transform Nations.
Yes.
Why did he feel, now that he's not here,
I'll try.
Why do you think he felt the need to start Transform Nations?
I guess the need to start Transform Nations, what I hear him say is him just growing up, especially he was brought up by a single mom because his dad passed on when he was about 8 years, I think. He was very young. And he says he just grew up, got married, had children, and then he realized there was no manual for what it takes to be a good man.
Yeah.
And he just, talking to his friends, he realized that a lot of men have questions, but somehow society expects men to know. You just know. And unlike women, if I have an issue, I'll call you Miriam and I'll tell you, Miriam, this is what I'm going through.
It's easier for us to
it's very natural for us to reach out. And it's also more natural for us to open up about our issues. But I think for men, it's a little bit different. The moment you open up, you're becoming vulnerable, and it's like you're taking away from your manhood. Yeah, so
that is how we've been socialized.
That's how we've been socialized. Yeah, so he says, rather than the bar, go drown your sorrows in the bar and get advice from the bar, he said, why don't we then create this space where men can actually come and just talk about their lives, talk about their issues, talk about their struggles, talk about their aspirations as men, and just find a place to just come and bond and spar one another into just responsible masculinity. Yeah.
So you mentioned, of course, your husband's father died when he was 8. So
yes.
he didn't have a father to model
Yes.
him
Yes.
how to be a man.
Yes.
And of course, most men go through the same thing.
Yes.
Sometimes the father is there, but he's not really there.
Yes.
Absent. Or maybe the kind of modeling he's giving you of manhood is completely different. So how would you encourage even the men who, they're grown right now, they have families, but they're still struggling with what it is to be a man? How can you advise such men?
I would tell them that there is a script for responsible manhood, and we call this program Man Enough. We've had men as young as 19, and I think our oldest person in the Man Enough program was actually a man who was in his late 70s. Yes, late 70s. And he kept saying, I wish somebody had told me. I wish I had come across this content.
It's not too late.
No, it's not too late. And what he says is that, look, I'm an elder in my space. There's still people who are looking up to me. Other fathers who are younger than me, my own children, my own grandchildren, and they are so grateful that they have gotten the opportunity to go through. So really, this is not. I know it's very threatening when certain men are invited into Man Enough, then they feel like their masculinity is being questioned. But we're saying we recognize that God has given you what it takes to be a man, and in this space, we just want men to affirm you. And I hear that men are made men amongst other men. Yes. So we're saying, come here. It's a space where you find other men with very rich experiences, and you just get a space to talk about masculinity and sort of get a script of what is it I'm aspiring to as a man that will go beyond me. Yeah. So it's an amazing program. So far we've had about 10,000 men going through 10,000 men. Going through
gentlemen, because I think when they leave, they are
yes, they are different.
Yeah.
And the women, the people who come and tell us the stories of transformation, the children that these fathers are fathering, the wives, the women around them, and wives, it's wives, it's mothers, it's sisters, and they come back and say, look, since my man went through the Man Enough program, I have a new daddy, I have a new husband. So, and the men themselves say that now I know what I am aspiring to. I'm not just shooting in the dark. I can measure, I can tell myself I can sort of benchmark and say this against this standard, this is how well I am doing. But I think also the greatest value is that these men have gotten from that experience what they call a band of brothers. And they've just formed community around each other. And to date, there are still men who meet 3-4 years down the line. They meet every week. They have breakfast. They talk about their issues. They pray. They contribute and do projects together. Yeah, so I guess it's been quite amazing. Yeah.
I've had two experiences with two men people that I hardly knew
yes.
that have been through the program. So one day I was coming from a place that was very dark.
Yes.
And there's a place I was going to pass, and I didn't feel safe.
Yes.
So there's a man coming from behind, so I stopped and waited.
Yeah.
So because I wanted to go with him, I felt I didn't feel safe. So he's like, no, it's okay, we'll go. And then after that, I was like, oh, thanks. He's like, no. I have to make sure you're safe. I'm taking you home.
Oh my goodness.
He actually walked me to my gate.
Oh my goodness, Man Enough works.
I know.
It's very interesting that I had exactly the same experience. So I was out in a parking lot somewhere, and my battery died on me.
Oh, wow.
Yes. So I approached one guy, and I was like, please come and help. And the guy wouldn't even wind down his window. He was like, what? And so I figured this guy wants me to leave him alone.
Yeah.
So I left that guy, and I went and approached another man. And the man was like, yeah. So, as like the two, so just jokingly, I asked this second guy now who came to help me jumpstart my car, and I said, so, have you done Man Enough? He said, yeah, I'm a graduate. And I was like, yeah, it works. Because, by the way, the response was very different.
And this guy was very, very respectful.
He was,
All he did was
yeah.
he brought me to my gate.
Yes.
And
No strings attached.
No.
That is now what they call
It's like, I called, you're safe now.
yeah. They call that in Man Enough the call of duty.
Oh my.
Yeah, that every man is then inspired or challenged to live for something greater for themselves,
Yeah.
and to serve others, because it is the glory of manhood to serve people. So I'm very encouraged to hear that. You need to give us that guy's name.
I told you, I think it was John or somebody.
I think
You go into the details of it.
you are too in that moment.
I was just amazed.
Yeah.
But the fact that, because most men, they would even go into other stories, No, he was quite a gentleman. All he
That-
needed for me is to get home safe, and he did that, and
Wow,
he left.
that is amazing.
And he lived miles away from where I was, but he took the trouble to do that. So,
Wow.
So I
Yeah.
So women, you're wondering where these gentlemen are. Where to find them.
We jokingly tell women that now the test for a guy who wants to, hit on you is like, have you done Man Enough?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if the guy hasn't done, don't give him even 1 inch of your time. So yeah, that's the new standard
Yeah.
for like guys to
Get
go
it
for.
back. Yeah. So your husband also is the founder of Mavuno Church, or the co-founder?
My husband is one of the founding pastors. So Mavuno was founded by a team of pastors, 3 pastors, and he was one of them that planted Mavuno.
Nice.
Yes.
So how is it doing now?
Mavuno is doing great. We now consider ourselves a global movement.
Oh,
It's a movement. We are creating a movement of what we call fearless influencers, and basically just telling people wherever you are, you're a full-time minister, you're a full-time representative of the kingdom of God. You don't have to have the name pastor, but know that God has placed you there for a specific purpose. Plug into it and just get on with the influence.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I know you were having a silver moms dinner.
Yes.
Very soon, and you will tell us about that after the break. But before we go to the break, I'd like to know why is it important to leave a legacy, especially as a parent and as a man to your children?
We were talking today in the office at the Transformations office about what is it with we Africans. There's something we don't seem to get, and I know it's a very wide topic. We could debate. We could debate about it for a very long time. But we just said in cultures where the men have taken responsibility and they have very deliberately mentored the younger generation, you actually have business enterprises that have lasted many generations. We're talking about, for example, I'll just speak on the Asian community, for example. They have a very strong culture of mentorship and apprenticeship, where within the family, and you find by the time a child is in their teens, if there's a family business, they're already working in it, they know the ropes. So there's never a leadership crisis in those kind of enterprises. Even if the patriarch passes on, it's like the transition is seamless because everybody was involved in that process and is prepared. And we tell the men that is the same thing that you need to do. In fact, one of the things that the men do at the Man Enough graduation, they actually write their own eulogy.
Oh, wow.
Yes. And yes, they're told, we don't want to come to your funeral and write things that are hot air.
Yeah.
You write your eulogy right now. It is known that 100% of human beings die.
Yeah.
So the fact that you're gonna die is factual. It's coming, and the big thing is what is it that you will leave behind? What is it you want to be remembered for? And so the guys actually sit down. It's very it freaks out some guys. I think the Africans that we are, but actually, so the guys are told, the end is coming, and we want you to be prepared for that end. We do not want you to go and leave your family stranded, and they don't know where to pick up, and they just scatter. So you write your eulogy and you're saying, okay, this is the end as you anticipated, this is your legacy. Now live every day in a way that your legacy, whatever you've written down, is actually what is going to come to pass.
Okay.
So it becomes then very purposeful living.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so as we think about marriage is about that, we're going to take a short break, and when we come back, Sophie will be talking about the Silver Moms.
Silver Moms dinner.
She'll give us more details about the dinner that will happen on the 7th of July next month. Don't go too far. We'll be back in a bit. Welcome back. In case you're joining me, my guest today is from the organization's Mothers of Sons. Moms out there, sometimes we don't know everything, so sometimes you need a little bit of help. And so with that, Sophie, you said that you were having a dinner on the 7th of July.
Yes.
You dubbed it a Silver Moms dinner.
Yes.
So tell us about this dinner.
So Silver Moms, I'll begin with Silver, and we say that parenting is an awesome responsibility. It weighs heavily on you.
It does.
And we keep telling the moms there that when you see an individual, whether they're grown up or not, misbehaving, what is it that comes to your mind, Miriam?
Your mom.
Yeah, they're like, who is your mom? and the implication there is that she dropped some balls somewhere. Yeah, and of course, and of course, when the same individual succeeds, they want to know who is your father.
See, these subtitles.
Well, yeah.
Unfortunately, that is the truth.
That is the truth.
But bottom line is, even if it succeeds,
Yes, it's still your mom.
Yeah.
And what we were saying in the last show was that for many children, up until the age of maybe 9, 10, that is depending on when they enter, let's say in terms of schooling years, when they enter class 4, you actually find that it's women who are around them. It's mommy, it's the nanny, it's the Sunday school teacher, it's the ECD teacher, and around that space, most of them tend to be women. And so you find that after around 8, 9, the boy child may not have like an active role model, whereas the girl has so many people to learn from.
Yeah.
And so the Silver Moms dinner is born out of a need of something that we have constantly had from the single moms who've come into our program. Our program for Mothers of Sons is open to all women who are mothering boys, whether you are married or not. We say regardless of your status. As long as you're mothering a boy, this program is for you. But obviously, if you are parenting alone, it means in most of the times you're pulling double the weight.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, and it's just you. I benefit a lot. I know there are times when I have been in situations with my children, whether it's my son or my girls, and it has been so helpful for me to know that their father is present, their father is engaged, and he's there to help. And that is something that I never ever take for granted. And so we really feel very compassionate towards the women who, for whatever reason, have to parent by themselves. It's not easy, Miriam. It's not easy. And so we're just bringing these women together and saying, what are some of your challenges that you're facing? And I think sometimes just having a space where you can just come and talk about your challenges, and you know that whatever you have to, you're not alone. Your voice is welcome. if there are tears, they're welcome in this space. There's no condemnation, there's no judgment. We're just saying, I find myself in this space. How do I make the most of it? So first of all, we want to just create a network for these moms to know that they're not alone. We want to talk about their challenges and say, are there things, some of the challenges that you're facing, are there ways that we can actually find solutions, practical solutions towards them? And then also saying, we need to create a village for your sons. And you need also to see what is my child exposed to as a result of their parenting situations? And how can I preempt some of the possible pitfalls? But also to just celebrate these moms and say, you know what, you're doing a great job. And no matter the circumstance of your motherhood or parenting situation, we just want to love on them and to celebrate them and to encourage them and to tell them that they're doing a good job.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is so sweet.
Yes.
So is there a dress code?
Yeah, there's a dress code. We want them to come feeling nice and sweet.
You know, some of us love to shop, so we're always looking for opportunities.
Yeah, look for
go
something
to the
red
shopping.
and black.
Red and black.
Red and black.
Okay, that is
Yes,
very basic.
that is
Most
that
people
is
have that in their wardrobe.
mommy's day out.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, mommy's day out. We really want you to have this time for yourself when you're not thinking about dinner or cooking it.
Cooking, menu for the day.
Menu for the
I
day.
know.
Just come and unwind and laugh and relax and just be encouraged.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So what is the time? From what time to what time?
We are meeting after work. We're meeting at Milele Hotel. Milele Hotel is in South Sea. It's actually right adjacent to Mama Ngina Children's Home. Yeah, so it will be an evening. So after work, then we're going to congregate
It's
there.
going to be on a Friday.
It's going to be on a Friday. Yeah, Friday evening.
All right.
Yeah.
So fathers and sons seems to bond sometimes. You know, they go out and do stuff as
Yeah.
boys.
Mhm.
But sometimes, as you mentioned, for the single moms, you know, you're raising a boy. And what are some of the healthy activities a mother can do with a son, you know, for fun? You know, if it's a father, they'll go and do stuff, you know, the boy stuff. So what can a mother do?
Hey, a mother can teach a son how to cook for himself.
Oh, wow.
Yes, that is basics of self-care. So that when he goes out, he doesn't have to
Basic
get
life
this.
skills.
Yeah, he doesn't have to get this kachik who now comes to cook for
Okay,
him,
clean.
and then and just take care of your space. So just basic life skills. And what we tell our moms is that give these little boys an opportunity to make decisions. One of the issues or the complaints that women have against men these days is that men are they are indecisive, that they don't take initiative. But I'm like, you never gave this. I mean, responsibility does not grow on you suddenly the day that you're 20.
Yeah.
And I'm saying, give
Somebody needs
this
to nurture
little boy
that
practice.
Yeah, yeah.
Just even when they're young as 4 years old, don't choose their clothes for them. You know, just put a yellow t-shirt and a red t-shirt. Let the boy make a choice. That is practice in decision making.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So now he will not become decisive.
And whatever he
the head of
decides,
the family.
you know, sometimes we feel like, you know, the boy has to wear the blue t-shirt that matches with my blue shoe.
Of course.
Yeah, it's not about you, it's about the boy. Let him make decisions. Sometimes when he likes a trouser, he may wear it for 7 days, the next 1 week.
I know. Immediately from the line.
Yeah,
it's always
and many moms are thinking, hey, people will think I don't buy you
Buy
clothes.
clothes, yeah.
But I'm like, let the boy, it's okay. What? So what?
Oh, really?
Yeah, let the boy, as long as it
But then
cover,
the clothes might become smaller.
it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's just
But
one.
somehow you strengthen.
You give him
decision-making
opportunities to just make low risk decisions.
Yeah, true. It's not harm. As long as the
Yeah.
trousers are clean all week.
Yes, and
Yeah.
just like I said, there are many things that moms we can do for boys. Just teach them basic life skills. Take care of your space. Clean up after yourself.
Make your bed.
Make your bed. So age appropriate. As soon as the boy is of age, don't pay somebody to wash your car. Let him wash your car if you have one, and let him earn his pocket money. So again, don't just let it be that you're giving him easy money all the time. You know, today he's getting it from mom. Tomorrow he'll be happy to get it from a sugar mommy or a cougar or whatever, because he has grown up seeing a woman provide all the time. And he thinks that maybe this is how life is lived. Yeah, so that's certain things that we can teach our children as mothers. Let him sew a button, let him wash his clothes, let him just learn to take care of himself. Now, we are told in leadership that the most difficult person to lead is yourself. Once you know how to lead yourself, you can lead other people. And so part of leading me is taking care of my space. Allow that child to make their own bed, and your home is not NIS, so it doesn't have to be at the corner and, you know, the mitre. And when he makes the bed, nobody is marking. Just let it be. He's the one who is going to come and sleep in that bed again. Because if he makes the bed and then I come and make it again, what I've told him is that he's not competent. And so he'll go around life asking mom for permission for everything. Even when he's grown, he'll be married to this guy, this woman, and they're making a decision and he's like, let me ask mom. And I tell you, at that point, it's not funny.
Do you know, I know so many men who are like really, really old, but can't really...
it's like mom has to approve everything. Yes, and we tell them, and we tell the mothers, we actually tell the mothers that you're raising your children to leave you. And so they need to be able to survive without you. Teach them how to survive without you. Let them be able to just make a simple meal for themselves. Let them be able to clean their own house. Let them be able to make their own decisions, manage their own money. Let them learn the value of actually earning money. And I think money that has been earned is also spent frugally. If you have worked hard for your money, Miriam, you will not go just dishing it out.
I'm the one who will go for the sales. I'm always looking for a sale.
Yeah, even a newspaper. If your office gives you a free newspaper, you'll only read the section that you want or you like. But if you buy it
from page one
to the last page, because you're like, hey, I paid for this newspaper, you know. So I think there are many things that mothers can teach their children. And those are the kind of things that we talk about, and especially sons.
So most times, you know, I've heard guys say that, men say that, you know, the only person who truly understands me is my mom. Where does that come from?
Well, you've carried this child in your womb 9 months. For the formative years of their life, you know that sometimes I look at a child and nobody else knows what that child is saying. You know, like when they're just learning to talk, but a mother will tell you, 100%. This is the problem with this child. Yes. So I think that just that natural connection that you have with your children, you sort of have that intuition that tells you this is it. Now, I think every child needs a father to teach them to take risks in life and to help them push the boundaries, because you never, I mean, life, just being alive by itself is a risk, you know?
I know.
You could get it wrong. So I think there is a very specific role that the fathers play, that they need to push us out and, you know, out of our comfort zones. But I think there's nothing like a mother's unconditional love. And I guess then that's why people say there's nobody who understands me like my mother. And I think also when you talk about understanding, many times you're talking about emotional intelligence, and I think women are naturally wired to have a higher emotional intelligence quotient compared to men.
Okay. So I've always believed that, now this is just me, in my mother mind speaking, that there's no bond so strong and special, like the bond between a mother and her son. And this might be a bit biased because I'm a mother to a son, so I don't know how it is to raise a girl. So how wrong would I be?
I don't think it's wrong. First of all, at the end of the day, you're a woman, and this guy is a man.
So that makes
So there is that chemistry between the sexes that I think works. So I think that's natural. And then, but I also believe that, so there's that thing of, there's something that is opposite of you that attracts me. But I think there's also then the bond of between mothers and daughters is like, there's somebody who is exactly like me, so she gets me.
It's also very special.
Yeah, so I think it's special all around. But I sort of tend to think that it's stronger across the sexes, because I also feel that fathers also have a very special bond with their little girls.
Okay.
Yeah.
So why should mothers be curious about their sons' interests, the things that their sons love to do? Why should we take time and invest our time into it and even try to understand why is it that they're even interested in whatever they're interested in?
Several reasons. Number one, like you said, we tend to be the ones that are most connected with the children. And especially as boys get into teenagehood, there's a lot that is going on. There's a lot of chemistry that is happening, the hormone, that hormone they call T. I think the surges, even biologically, the surges become more and more, and that is what is responsible for the transition from childhood to teenagehood to adulthood as a man. And there's a lot about just men wanting, some withdraw, some, I mean, the boys who either withdraw, and of course there's a lot of peer pressure. They are hearing all these messages from themselves. They don't want to disappoint. So we tell mothers, please be a student of your son. The other day, my son came home and I'd sent him to the kinyozi, and he doesn't like bald.
Mine too.
Yeah,
And he likes
and he makes an enemy of any barber who tries to remove to shave off his hair. But he came bald, and I was like, hey, what happened? Didn't you tell the barber what you like?
You go to the usual barber who understands.
No, actually it was his barber, his normal barber. But he told me, Mom, in August I want to do mohawk.
Yeah.
And between now and August, I don't want to cut my hair again. I don't want the principal to make me cut my hair again. So I cut it as short as possible, so that by August it will be the right height for a mohawk or for a whatever it is. So you see, if I had not known his normal circumstances or what he likes, I wouldn't have known that there was actually something different. And that was a good one. So I'm going to use that with him one of these fine days and say, you see, the same way you planned for your mohawk in August, in the month of June, I need you to plan your work. I need you to plan your life. I need you to plan certain things. So I think these children also have a lot to teach us as parents. And what I appreciated about my son is that, this guy can actually have a plan. He can actually think ahead. He can plan towards it. And I just realized, my little boy is a little boy no more.
Okay.
He's actually growing, and he's making his own decisions. And as a mother, I need to grow with him.
Yeah, and allow him.
And just begin to release the apron strings. Now I think he's ready for a little bit more responsibility. And so
How old is he now?
He's 12 years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I've told him, anything to do with my car, it's your responsibility. If it has jumped, go and jump start it, wash it, clean it. And I also told him, henceforth I shall not carry any load in this house, not when I have a son. Yeah. And you can tell he really feels affirmed.
Oh, wow.
And he feels, he feels, Mom is trusting me with things. And you can tell that he's very proud and very happy to execute. And I'm also training him how to treat the woman that will eventually show up in his life. I want him to learn to serve. There'll come a time when I will not be the most important woman in this man's life, and I need to make peace with that, so that when now the daughter-in-law comes, I will not be having battles with her. I'll not be telling her, nobody can cook for my son like me. That I'll be able to just release them and let them make their life quite apart from me, and there will be no threatening feeling about that.
Which is very important.
Yeah.
And a lot of us mothers, we get that wrong, because it's that string we never like to to disconnect from. So there's of course profound influence a mother has on her son, and sometimes there are mothers who are not there for their sons, so they miss that. So at the end of the day, they don't the sons or the children think about their mother. There's not that positive legacy of how because the mother basically maybe was never there for them, maybe for whatever reason. So is it too late for a mother to repair the bad mother image that maybe her children has had?
I think so. For me, I believe that hope is lost when you're with the potatoes underground.
True.
As long as you're still up here, there's still hope. But I think one of the things that maybe culturally we never got to hear, when we grew up, our parents never apologized. They never owned up to the fact they did certain things wrong. And so they never. Even if there was a mistake, it was either silence, it was your fault, the big person was never wrong. So I guess for in such a situation, it is just to own up and say, look, I really, really would have wanted this to turn out well, but it didn't turn out well the way I wanted. And just to begin there, just owning up, and also allowing the other person to express their pain and giving them room, and then saying, okay, going forward, how do we mend this relationship? Yeah, for some people, the connection is easier. Also, depending to the on the extent of the wound and how badly that relationship was. But I'd say to every mom, never give up on your children. As long as they are walking the face of this earth, never give up on them. And more so, also realize that there's a time when my influence will come to an end. And so I tell my fellow mothers that I need to introduce my children to the person who will be there for them after I am gone. And I think that would be God. And I may not even be gone. I might be around, but unavailable to help you.
True.
Because we are not in the same space. I want my children to know that there's, at the end of mom, there's more. And I would want to expose them to that. Yeah, so even in the process of mending, especially in the process of mending a relationship that has gone bad, I think the faith factor is very crucial.
I wouldn't agree more.
Yeah.
So we're about to finish, but just a recap. Silver Moms Dinner on the 7th of July.
Friday.
Milele Hotel,
South Sea.
From
5:30 to 8:30. Yes.
Dress code
red and black.
Mrs. Sophie Levy.
Yes.
It was a pleasure to have you back again on the show.
Oh, it was my privilege to be here. Yes.
And of course, you'll come back and we'll talk about more of what you're doing right now.
I am very, very happy to do that.
Have you back
yes.
Very, very soon.
Thank you.
So, mothers, you're welcome. Go out there, register for this dinner because it's important. As a parent, we never stop learning. Even us, we need to learn.
Yes.
Every day. So this will be a good opportunity to interact with other mothers and learn. And especially if you're a single mom, this will be a good chance for you to come and get equipped and skilled and of course get ideas and information how you can be a better mom, But I know you're a good mom. You can be a better mom to your children, or to your child, or to your son,
Yes.
to your daughter also as well.
Yes,
And
true.
this has been Exceptional Women Show. I am Miriam Gould, and until next time, thank you for watching.